Chapter 7. I studied myself in the mirror of the bathroom at McDonald's. My hair hung in greasy clumps on my forehead. Creases from the crumpled up clothes I had slept on were still etched in the side of my face. I rubbed my hands together under the water and ran my wet fingers through my hair. Then I used paper towels to scrub my face and arms. The rough brown paper left my skin red and scratched. We'd spent the weekend in that old house, and I was beginning to think I'd rather sleep in the car again. Mama had gotten some stuff at a yard sale to try to make things better. A plastic raft for us to take turns sleeping on. A radio that ran on batteries. An alarm clock. Stuff like that. She even got a great big artificial plant with red and purple flowers. She had wiped the dust off the leaves with her shirt tail and set it up on top of the wood stove. I guess she thought that plant would make me glad to be there, but it didn't. If things didn't change soon, I was going to have to go back to my dog stealing plans. That's all there was to it. The bathroom door opened and Mama stuck her head inside. "We gotta go, Georgina," she said. "I can't be late for work again." I followed her out to the car. I couldn't help but notice how her blue jeans hung all baggy, dragging on the asphalt parking lot as she walked. I guess she was getting skinnier. She had on her green handy pantry t-shirt. Her long fingers clutched a cup of coffee that sent trails of steam into the early morning air. "I'll drop y'all off at the corner," she said, climbing into the car. "Then go on up yonder to the bus stop, okay?" "Okay." I got into the back seat beside Toby and propped my feet up on top of my bag and stuff. Mama had told us not to leave our things in that nasty old house, just in case. When I'd asked, "Just in case what?" she had flapped her hand at me and told me to stop asking so many questions. All right, so let's stop there for a second and look at some signposts that we have come across already. The first one would be up here, where Mama says, "We gotta go, Georgina," she said. "I can't be late for work again." And that is on page 48. So, "We gotta go, Georgina," she said. "I can't be late for work again." So pause the video and think, what is that signpost? I can't be late for work again. And then answer the signpost question that goes along with it. And again, this is on page 48. Okay, then there's another one on page 48 in this paragraph. So, I got into the back seat beside Toby and propped my feet up on top of my bag of stuff. Mama had told us not to leave our things in that nasty old house, just in case. So here we are. They just have this house, but the mom's telling them not to leave their things in the house. So what is that a signpost of? And then look at your anchor question and go ahead and answer it. And there's one more at the bottom of this page, so let's keep going. "After school," she said, "you and Toby wait in the car while I work at the cleaners. Then we'll go back to the house after that, okay?" I stuffed my notebook into my backpack. Today was the day we were supposed to bring in our science projects. I didn't have mine, but I didn't even care. This line right here, "I didn't have mine, but I didn't even care." So here we have this student, and one second. I'm back. Sometimes when you don't move for a little bit, the lights go off, so that was fun. So here we have a student that's saying she doesn't have a project, but she doesn't care. So what is that a signpost? What signpost is that? And then go ahead and answer the anchor question. So go ahead and pause and do that. All right, moving on. So I didn't have mine, but I didn't even care. I tell Mr. White my project got lost or stolen or something. "Okay, Georgina," Mama said, craning her neck to look at me in the rearview mirror. "I guess." I stared out the window. "What's the matter?" I shrugged. "Nothing." "Come on and tell me, Georgina," she said. "What's the matter?" I felt a wave of mad sweep over me. "Everything!" I hollered. "Okay? Everything's the matter." I kept my head turned toward the window, but I could feel her eyes on me. "Give me a break, okay?" she yelled into the mirror. You're just making this harder on everybody, Miss Glum and Angry. What would you like me to do? Rob a bank? Toby giggled, and I shot him a look that wiped the grin right off of his face. Maybe you could act like a mother, I said. Mama slammed on the brakes and whipped around to glare at me. Just what is that supposed to mean? She said. Mothers are supposed to take care of their kids, I said, not let them sleep in creepy old houses and wash up in the bathroom at McDonald's. Mama pressed her lips together, and I could tell she was thinking hard about what to say. But then she just sighed and turned back around. We rode in silence the rest of the way. When we got to the corner near the bus stop, I got out and slammed the door. Hard. Look after Toby, okay, Georgina? Mama called after me. Yeah, I said. Whatever. Was he mad? Luann asked me as we headed toward the bus. Nah. What did he say? Nothing. Nothing? Well, I mean, nothing much. I didn't look at Luann because I knew she would know I was lying. Mr. White had said plenty. He'd said how he couldn't understand my bad attitude lately, and he was so disappointed in my lack of effort recently. And then he had to go and ask me if everything was all right at home. I had kept my eyes on the styrofoam planets dangling from a coat hanger behind him. Somebody's stupid science project. Yes, sir, I said. Everything's fine. Then he had given me another envelope with Mr. and Mrs. Hayes written on it. Would I be sure and have my parents call him, he had said. All right, so we're on page 50 now, and we have another signpost at the bottom. So let's reread that part. Then he had given me another envelope with Mr. and Mrs. Hayes written on it. So what signpost is that? And then think about what is the anchor question there. Okay. All right. And if he didn't hear from them, he was going to have to talk to the principal about the problem. Did I understand, he had said? Yes, sir, I told him. What I didn't tell him was that my daddy was long gone and my mama couldn't even get us a place to live, and my things got thrown out with the garbage. I didn't tell him that my best friend didn't even like me anymore, and now she had a new friend. All I said to him was, yes, sir. I stuffed the envelope way down inside my backpack and left quick as I could. On the bus, Luann and I took our regular seats, and then Liza Thomas got on and stopped beside us. Are you going to Girl Scouts today? She asked Luann. She had on a red t-shirt with sparkly gold glitter spelling out Cool Chick. Yeah, are you? Luann said. Yeah. Liza flicked her ponytail behind her shoulder. I'll see you there, okay? Okay. I could feel my jealousy churning around inside. Girl Scouts. I could just see Luann and Liza there, side by side, working on their outdoor cooking badge, or maybe planning a visit to the nursing home. I had to drop out of Girl Scouts so I could take care of Toby after school. Besides, I couldn't pay the dues or go on the trip to Six Flags or anything. When we got off the bus, Liza waved at us out the window. Luann waved back, but I didn't. Toby trotted along behind us. Want to come over to my house before Girl Scouts, Luann said. I wanted to say yes more than anything. I wanted to go over to the Godfreys and lie on Luann's soft pink carpet, eating graham crackers and working on one of my Girl Scout badges. I can't, I said. And that was all. Me and Toby went on down the hill to where Mama was waiting for us in the car. I hated looking at that beat-up old car with bags of stuff all piled up in the seats. Black smoke puffed out of the tailpipe, and the engine made a rattly sound. Hey, y'all, Mama called through the open window. Look what I got. She waved a giant bag of M&Ms at us. Hot dang, Toby hollered, racing to the car. I yanked the door open, tossed my backpack inside, and climbed in. Toby was already ripping the candy bag open. I don't want any, I said. Then I took my social studies book out of my backpack and pretended to read chapter 21 like I was supposed to. Mama turned around in the front seat. Georgina, she said, please stop making this worse than it already is. I'm not. Yes, you are. She got up on her knees and leaned over the seat to put her face down close to mine. It won't be much longer now, I promise, she said. How much longer? Mama sighed. A few more days, maybe, she said. A few more days? She might as well have said forever. I felt the tears running down my face and then Mama's warm hand on my cheek. I'm sorry, sweetheart, she said. I swear, every night I pray for a miracle, but I reckon nobody's listening. What kind of miracle? I said. My voice sounded small and pitiful. I don't know, she said. Anything. Money, mostly. I nodded. Okay, that does it, I said to myself. I was going to have to steal that dog after all. I had to. It was the only way we were ever going to get ourselves out of this mess and live like normal people again. So when Mama parked the car and kissed us goodbye, I pulled out my purple notebook and read through all my dog-stealing notes. Isn't that light so much fun? I put a little check mark beside the things I had already done. When I got to the part about finding a place to hide the dog, I thumped my pencil against my knee and thought real hard. Where in the world could I hide a dog? In the woods somewhere? Or over behind Elk's Lodge? Maybe in that old chicken coop out there by Hiram Foley's place. I closed my notebook and stared out the window at the folks sitting in front of the Dairy Queen across the street. Stealing a dog had seemed so easy when I'd first thought of it. Now it seemed like the hardest thing I'd ever done. Georgina? Toby's voice interrupted my thoughts. What? Are we still going to steal that dog? He said. Yes, I said. We are. When? Soon. I pushed my notebook down under the clothes in my trash bag. That night, it was my turn to sleep on the plastic raft. Strips of moonlight poured through the cracks in the plywood that covered the windows and danced across the dusty wooden floor. I tried to make myself stop thinking so I could go to sleep, but my mind just wouldn't turn off. I went through my plan over and over, imagining myself with that little dog, Willie, picturing myself running with him in my arms, seeing myself hiding him someplace. But where? I threw the beach towel off of me and tiptoed over to the corner of the room where my stuff was. I took out my notebook and sat down in a beam of moonlight so I could see. I turned to step 3 of how to steal a dog. I wrote April 12th. Then, under the part that said 3, figure out where you're going to hide the dog, I wrote A. The place where you hide the dog has to be close enough so you can go visit him. B. The place has to be somewhere that nobody goes or else they'll see the dog and maybe turn him loose or call the dog pound or something. C. Try to find a place that is a nice place for a dog to be. D. Try to find a place that has a roof because what if it rains? I tried to think of some more stuff, but I guess I was too tired. My mind was finally starting to slow down and stop thinking. So I wrote, now you are almost ready to steal a dog, and put my notebook away. I tiptoed back over to my raft bed. I pulled the beach towel up under my chin, closed my eyes, and slept a deep, dreamless sleep like I used to when I had a bed. But I bet if I'd known what was going to happen the next day, I never would have slept that good. So the last thing I want you to do, it's not a signpost, but it is a literary device. Look at this last sentence. But I bet if I'd known what was going to happen the next day, I never would have slept that good. What type of literary device is that? They're kind of giving us a hint at what's going to happen. What is that called? I want you to write that down in one of your signpost boxes, and then I want you to make a prediction about what you think is going to happen next. But I bet if I'd known what was going to happen the next day, I never would have slept that good. Okay, what is that an example of? It happened in Everest, the climb, too. All right, that's chapter 7.